You ever notice how nobody really lives anymore? We just wake up, work, pay bills, and call that survival. They tell us to love what we do. I'd love to not panic every time rent's due. But sure, keep smiling, right? Team spirit. I wake up every day and tell myself, maybe today will feel different. But it never does. It's the same screen, the same coffee, the same fake small talk about weekends we never actually enjoy. We don't live. We just recharge enough to keep going. You ever look at your paycheck and laugh? Like that's the number I traded my soul for. I swear, surviving feels like the new luxury. They tell you to find purpose. Bro, I can't even find energy. Every boss says the same thing. We're like a family here. Yeah? Then why do I feel like the unwanted cousin doing everyone's chores? You work your feathers off, and what do you get? A 5-minute break, a plastic cup of coffee, and an email saying, "Great effort, team." Sometimes I think the system doesn't even want us to dream. It just wants us tired enough to accept it. And somehow, we call that normal. You ever stop and wonder, when did life turn into this loop? We spend our best years chasing paychecks, pretending we're grateful just to exist. People say, be thankful you have a job. Yeah, I am. I'm thankful I can afford to stay exhausted. I used to think I was lazy. Turns out I'm just burned out from surviving. There's this moment every night when I walk home. The streets are quiet, just streetlights and tired faces heading in the same direction. Everyone looks like they're running on the same battery, half charged, half hopeless. And I think, is this freedom? Finishing work just to start recovering from it. I see cafes closing, people laughing for an hour before the cycle starts again. The buses come, the same faces get on, nobody talks. We all stare at our phones, pretending we're somewhere else. Maybe that's what we do best now. Escape, just enough to make it to tomorrow. And they tell you it's normal. Everyone's tired, everyone's stressed, everyone's barely hanging on. But that's just life, right? They act like exhaustion is some kind of personality trait now. You post a picture of your coffee with the caption, "Fuel for another day," and everyone claps. Like, yeah, we're all in this together, being slowly cooked by capitalism. They sell us candles that smell like vacation, because most of us can't afford one. They give us meditation apps instead of raises. And if you complain, you're ungrateful. Nah, I'm not ungrateful. I'm just awake enough to see that something's broken. You ever notice how when we were kids, everyone asked, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Nobody said, "Tired." But here we are, professional zombies with direct deposit. We used to dream about who we'd become. Now we just dream about weekends, or at least days that don't start with an alarm. Somewhere along the line, they sold us this idea that working non-stop means you're strong, that being exhausted is a badge of honor. But tell me, when did life become about surviving 5 days just to feel half alive for 2? We count hours, not moments. We stare at clocks like prisoners waiting for release. And then we do it all again. You blink, and 10 years are gone. Promotions, birthdays, new job titles, all blur together. And somehow, that's considered success. You work, you pay rent, you keep going. Congratulations, you've unlocked adulthood. Nobody tells you that growing up mostly means learning how to tolerate things that used to break you. We keep pretending we're okay. Smiling in meetings, laughing at the boss's jokes, posting grind never stops, like we're proud of it. Sometimes I catch myself doing it too, acting like everything's fine, just so people don't worry. But inside, it's just noise, a mix of anxiety, caffeine, and deadlines that never end. And what's the reward? 2 days to recover from 5, a paycheck that disappears faster than the weekend. We spend half our lives waiting for Friday, the other half recovering from Monday. And somewhere in between, we convince ourselves that's just how it is. But deep down, I think we all know it. Life wasn't supposed to feel like this. Sometimes I wonder what would happen if I just stopped, if I didn't show up one morning, if I just disappeared for a bit. Would anyone even notice? Or would they just send one of those, hope everything's okay emails and move on? What if I stopped answering messages? Stopped pretending I care about performance reviews or office birthdays? The world wouldn't collapse. It would keep spinning. Meetings would go on without me. Deadlines would still be met. And that's the scary part, isn't it? Realizing how replaceable you are in the place that drains your whole life. Sometimes I imagine just walking out, not in anger, just done. No goodbyes, no explanation, just peace. But then the alarm goes off again, and like clockwork, I go back to playing my part. You know what's funny? We keep saying things will get better. Once I get that promotion, once I move out, once I finally take a break. But the truth is, we never really stop. There's always another email, another bill, another reason to keep running. And deep down, we know it. This cycle doesn't end on its own. Maybe that's why I talk to myself like this. Maybe it's the only time I actually listen. Because even when I'm tired, there's still a small part of me that remembers. Before the job, before the rules, before all this noise, I used to dream. And maybe that's all I've got left right now. A dream that one day I'll wake up and won't need an alarm. That I'll finally be free, not rich, not famous, just free. But until then, I'll show up, smile when they tell me to, and keep pretending I'm okay. Because that's what we do, right? We survive.